Anyway, Murray is here and Beatrix, and we try to make a little introduction to the way how to use potencies in this with this group of remedies. Look here, everybody can see it. Just leave it. Yeah, doesn't matter. No one can read it anyway.
Lift it up a bit.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah. Just talk to me.
Yeah, it's fine.
And we just made them, and it took a very, very, very long time. Each remedy takes around 30 to 40 hours to make it and to potentize it. But we got, anyway, we put, let's say, 5-6 years into it with a group of homeopaths. We developed them. But anyway, we were starting to use them, and then we were talking around the world about them. And we started to give some boxes away in California, in New York, in Finland, in South Africa. But then lately in Berlin, they never got the boxes. So they started to be cross, and they said, why don't we get the boxes? So they started to write emails like this: Alice, bring the Wonder Box. And I was reading, you know, my organizer, Maureen from the school in Berlin. She wrote, can you please not forget the Wonder Boxes? And I said to my assistant, Wonder Boxes? Wonder Box? So I phoned her up on the Skype and I said, Wonder Boxes, what do you mean? Yes, this is the Wonder Box. Everybody now wants the Wonder Box. So from then on we were so excited. My colleagues got tears in the eyes and said, listen, they call them the Wonder Boxes. So that's why my colleague was Jenna, who is doing a thesis on potencies in the Netherlands. She was going to develop it, and she was every Wednesday working on the remedies to make them into, and that's why how we kind of they founded the box, and they founded the, you know, and then I came to South Africa, and the Beatrix says, oh, you should order the boxes because we can't get them here. Anyway, it took a very long time, 3 weeks, but finally we made it. So that's why we make a little bit a DVD about how to use the potencies, because people seem to be very confused about it. So we try to clear it out a little bit. What is a C4 potency, or a C5 potency, or a C6, or a C7? It only is that you, Hahnemann said, to triturate 3 rounds, and I can also send you the whole file, what Hahnemann said about it. I just found it, I send it around to you. And he said do 3 rounds, and many times he did different things also. So he didn't take homeopathy as a rule, like it has to be like this, or what did he do? What he all the time tried to do is to understand how he could transform the vitality of that plant, of that mineral, how he could make that work the best into the patient. So he was always thinking about what substance, what can we do with the substance so we can transform that energy into that symptom. How can we make it work in the minimum in that symptom? So that is very important to realize, that this man tried to find that, you know. Some people would say trying to find the Holy Grail, trying to find in the alchemy how we can make gold. It meant how we can make energy free to heal. That was behind it. Not was behind it to write the pharmacopoeia. No, that was behind how can we make it happen, right? So if we have let's give an example. If we have a little tumor in the bladder, for example, that is a constriction, something which is not moving anymore, And very often we don't even feel that we have a little tumor. We have it for years. It doesn't bother us, right? But then there comes this moment that, well, anyway, it gives problems. So what you do in homeopathy, what everybody knows, you give as much as you can something similar. But, Hahnemann says, always in a higher dilution than the problem is. In a higher energetic form of the substance than the original symptom is. So what you do is, when there is a very strong physical symptom, it means the body has no possibility to solve that anymore. So what you do is, when the patient only complains about it is very, very physical, it's stuck in the physical level and there is no other information, no other reason why it is stuck, why it is there. Well, there is no emotion connected to it, it's just there. Then what has been said, you give the potency in a higher level. That means the energy which is very condensed, you solve it and bring it into a higher form of energy. And in this little higher form of energy, you start understanding, you start connecting with it, and you start understanding that symptom. That is what homeopathy is. And because you have an awareness with this symptom, you can solve it. So homeopathy doesn't really cure, homeopathy makes it insightful to you. And then you can work with it. You can let it go. So if you're very stuck in a physical level, you give a potency which is more already acting in an emotional level. So you give in a very deep physical symptom, you used to give a very low potency. Yeah? And hopefully the patient comes back and understands why he has the problem, and then he feels a relief can come. Yeah? In the awareness. To come back to C4 homeopathy, I think we don't need to make it so special. Hahnemann said, like he was trying out many things, he said we need to triturate. Triturate is taking a piece of a substance and bring it together with milk sugar and then triturate it 3 times, he said. That more or less is what he thought was enough. Later in his books, in his last books, he already said we have to go to the C4. It is written down. Yeah? Anyway, what certain people have discovered is that every substance has certain levels of expressing energy. Yeah, you could think a little bit like the chakras. Yeah, it goes from low till higher. Yeah, and what you do when you triturate, you connect with the substance and you bring it up to a more invisible state. And you can say you bring it in more subtle levels. How do you say this? Subtle levels. Yeah. So more or less, there was a group of people who figured out that substances should be triturated to higher levels, and during these triturations, they could feel which kind of information was set free. Yeah. So they also could discover that certain substances needed to be triturated more, yeah, in order to get this vitality free, and in order to understand that it could work and do it on a deeper level, yeah. So that is all what you need to understand. But what my opinion also is that every plant, every mineral has its own energy field and knows where it can give, where it can solve, where it can cure. And there are more special people who can feel that also. Not everyone can feel it. So that's all. So we triturate it to a state where we feel that it was coming out well. Yeah? That's all. It's not, it's like that. So to understand the selection of potencies, it's this is just said by Massimo that well triturated remedies have 15% better results. So not every remedy is triturated well, but anyway we triturated them very well, and we think that the results are much higher than 15% better. Anyway, that's just to find out for yourself. So what you know is that the remedies, the lower potencies, you know already, they work on a much more physical level. That's just normal homeopathy, and in the C4 it is the same. I wrote down for you as an example. There comes a patient to you and she or he has psoriasis, eczema, rheumatic complaints and structural pathology without local modalities. So just psoriasis and rheumatic complaints, and the patient would say it's the same in the summer, it's the same in the winter, it's the same in the day, it's the same in the night, it's just there, right? So you know that the problem is very much material, very material stuck, yeah, without any modality. Then you wake up the energy in that patient with a very low potency, yeah. But the higher it is triturated, the substance, the breder het kan werken, the broader it can work. That is just, yeah.